Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, 18 local government units in Albay were honored by the DILG during the Aldautin Honra recognition ceremony in Legazpi City. The municipalities of Camalig, Manitod, and Daraga were hailed as outstanding LGUs, while Legazpi, Ligao, Tabaco, Libon, and Pulangi were cited as high-performing LGUs. Barangay Matacon in Pulangi and Barangay Tagas in Tabaco City were recognized as outstanding Lupong Tagapamayapa. Legazpi City also bagged the Best Recovery Initiatives Award for its sustainable economic programs. The DILG program honors outstanding LGUs that promote good, transparent, and efficient governance. In other story, the provincial government of Albay is gearing up for the 2025 Interdepartment Sports Fest, opening on November 5 at the Albay Astrodome. With the theme Resilience and Optimism for Strong, Active Living, the event aims to promote unity, wellness, and teamwork among provincial employees. The activity starts with an assembly at the Albay Cathedral, followed by a parade to the Astrodome featuring the Bicol College Marching Band, PGA employees or officials, and 6 color-coded teams. The opening program includes the presentation of muses and the Zumba competition. The Sports Fest fosters camaraderie, resilience, and healthy lifestyle among Albay's provincial employees. In other news, Governor Noel Rizal has reaffirmed his administration's strong partnership with the Department of Agriculture and Philmic to enhance rice production in Albay. The governor recently inspected the recirculating rice dryers and rice mill plant in Barangay Tula-Tula, Ligao City. The facilities granted by the Department of Agriculture through Philmic are expected to be officially turned over this month. The dryers can process up to 300 sacks of palay per cycle, while the rice mill can handle as much as 3 tons every 3 hours. Governor Rizal said the new equipment will reduce drying costs, improve grain quality, and increase productivity for local farmers. He added that the machines will help ease labor shortages and make farm work more efficient. The project is part of the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund program, which provides post-harvest machinery to help rice farmers boost yields and cut costs. In the national scene, the Makabayan bloc in the House of Representatives is pushing for an investigation into the alleged overpricing in farm-to-market road projects. ACT Teachers Representative Antonio Tinio, Gabriela Representative Zara Ilago, and Kabataan Representative Rene Co filed a resolution urging a joint probe by the House Committees on Public Accounts and on Agriculture and Food. They said the inquiry aims to uncover possible corruption and overpricing in projects handled by the Agriculture and Public Works departments. The call comes after an audit of nearly 1,000 projects nationwide revealed irregularities. Both agencies earlier said they plan to file criminal complaints over the findings. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian also reported that more than 10 billion pesos may have been lost to overpricing in the last 2 years. Lawmakers stressed the need to ensure transparency and accountability in the National Farm-to-Market Road Network Plan. They said Congress must act to hold officials accountable and stop the misuse of public funds. The issue has fueled growing outrage following reports of ghost and substandard flood control projects linked to the similar corruption cases. In other story, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has raised concerns over potential agitators who may seek to disrupt the upcoming anti-corruption protests scheduled for November 30, urging participants to keep demonstrations peaceful. Speaking at a press briefing in South Korea, Marcos stressed that authorities are primarily focused on individuals intending to cause harm, such as those carrying weapons, and not ordinary demonstrators. He called on the public to avoid violent actions, warning that such behavior only endangers participants and bystanders, while police are present solely to manage crowds and ensure safety. Marcos acknowledged that public dissatisfaction over corruption is justified, citing misuse of public funds meant to support citizens' welfare, which are allegedly spent on luxury purchases like airplanes and mansions. He noted that previous protests, such as those held on September 21, were largely peaceful in areas like Luneta and EDSA, but some incidents near Mindiola, close to Malacanang Palace, escalated into looting. The resulting police crackdown on the agitators drew criticism for allegedly targeting random bystanders in an effort to quell unrest. The president reiterated that while demonstrations are a legitimate expression of public outrage, violence undermines the cause and endangers both demonstrators and law enforcement personnel. Authorities have identified potential troublemakers and remain vigilant to prevent disturbances during the planned protests. In other news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. addressed in the same press conference that he does not expect the newly created Task Force Philippines, a U.S.-Philippines military cooperation, to increase tensions in the West Philippine Sea, an area frequently affected by China's territorial claims. The military has established clear procedures to operate effectively together, and a new structure has been put in place to maximize the efficiency of the exercises. This initiative is expected to reduce tensions, as conflicts typically escalate only when completely new measures are attempted, which is not the case with this task force. The main difference with Task Force Philippines is the use of different vessels and military parameters, which require coordinated training and adaptation. The task force was launched after meetings between U.S. and Philippine defense officials during the ASEAN Defense Ministers' meeting in Malaysia. The initiative aims to improve interoperability and preparedness, enabling both militaries to respond effectively to crises and strengthen deterrence in the South China Sea. China has repeatedly accused the Philippines and the United States of escalating tensions through military exercises, which are intended to assert freedom of navigation despite Beijing's claims over nearly the entire South China Sea. And in the news outside the country, Israel on Sunday announced that it will increase military operations against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon following an airstrike that reportedly killed 4 people, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. Although a ceasefire was agreed with Hezbollah in November 2024, Israel continues to maintain troops in several areas of southern Lebanon and carry out airstrikes. Defense Minister Israel Katz warned that Hezbollah is playing with fire and criticized the Lebanese president for failing to take decisive action. He emphasized that Israel will continue and intensify efforts to protect residents in northern Israel. Thousands of Israelis living near the northern border were forced to evacuate their homes after Hezbollah launched rockets in the wake of the Gaza war in October 2023. The conflict persisted for over a year, culminating in 2 months of open fighting before the ceasefire was implemented last year. In other story, the White House announced that reporters now need appointments to visit Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's office and other top communications offices in the West Wing. The change is said to have been made to protect sensitive information. Previously, reporters could stop by room 140 near the Oval Office on short notice. The White House said some reporters were secretly recording, taking photos, or eavesdropping on private meetings, while lower-level press areas are still open. The White House Correspondents Association said the rule makes it harder for journalists to hold the government accountable. Similar rules were tried under the President Clinton in 1993 but were quickly reversed. This comes after the Pentagon set new rules that some news outlets refused to follow, citing threats to press freedom. And finally, in the news outside the country, lawyer Maria Cristina Conti, assistant to counsel at the International Criminal Court (ICC), said former President Rodrigo Duterte's appeal for interim release faces very slim chances of being approved. The appeal, filed before the ICC Appeals Chamber, challenges the pretrial chamber's earlier ruling. But according to Conti, it does not clearly show any mistake that would justify overturning the decision. The Office of the Public Counsel for Victims has also asked the appeals chamber to dismiss the appeal, saying the defense failed to present strong legal grounds to support its claim. Conti noted that the ICC is well aware that the alleged crimes happened in the Philippines, where the presidential family continues to wield significant influence. This fact is not expected to affect the outcome, as the court based its ruling strictly on evidence and legal principles. She added that the ICC may be considering transferring Duterte to another country, but the details remain uncertain, and it is still unclear if any state has formally agreed to accept him. The ICC's pretrial chamber 1 earlier postponed the confirmation of charges hearing, which had been scheduled for September 23, 2025. The delay came after Duterte's defense team claimed he was unfit to stand trial, and the chamber granted a limited postponement to resolve that request and related issues. Despite the delay, the ICC has reaffirmed its jurisdiction over the case. Both the prosecution and the victims' counsel continue to oppose Duterte's plea for interim release, warning that his freedom could lead to flight risks and possible interference with witnesses. These concerns, along with the weak legal basis of the appeal, make it unlikely that the court will rule in Duterte's favor. And that's all for the news at 12, November 3, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer, LJ Lorejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Tad Boris. And our Provincial Information Officer, OIC Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rizal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.